Alright, what is going on, my YouTube crew? I'm very excited to announce that we're on the final stretch of the van. So, what comes next? That's what comes next. A complete gaming setup going inside of the van. I have my gaming computer. For those that want to know the specs, it's got a 3080 in it for a graphics card, 12700K for the processor. It's air-cooled, which might be a problem. I don't know yet. I do have a water cooler, but I definitely will not be installing a water cooler in the middle of the van trip, so I'm going to give the air cooler a try. I do like how quiet the air cooler is, so I guess time will tell. I did all my load calculations and it should be doable, but I also have a 27-inch curved monitor by Asus, and I'm going to wall mount that in front of my swivel seat, so then hopefully everything works out the way that I planned it in my head. Will it? Probably not, but we're going to try it anyway. Alright, so to those that have not seen my van yet, this is the inside. This is actually where I sleep. I'll lay out that triple mattress thing along this way, and then I sleep diagonal. Fridge right there. This is actually my computer desk, and each of these panels actually flip up. Each of these panels fold up, so I can move around on the inside if I have to. The computer will go right there in that corner. This is so dark though. Computer's gonna go in that corner. I have a refrigerator right there, right below where my head is, where I'm sleeping. This, I'm hoping, is where this is going to be the area for the monitor, as well as the Wi-Fi router, because I figured the closer to the outside that it is, the better signal it's going to get. But the monitor's going to go right here on the wall, and then it has like a 24-inch arm, so it actually will come out to like probably here. Obviously keyboard and mouse will be right here, and then I'll have my swivel seat right there. So it actually should work out pretty perfect if everything goes to plan. Now for powering the computer, I do have a outlet in there that you cannot see because it's pitch black. There you go, there's an outlet right there, you can see it now. Or maybe not. Trust me, there's an outlet there. To those that don't know what this whole build is, it's actually a motorcycle van as well, so I'll be using this even off of the van trip, the cross-country trip. I'll come back and still use this as a motocross van, or transport motorcycles around, or the dirt bikes. Even the faucet will be nice on a motocross track to be able to wash your face off if you just sweat all day. Yeah, we got this whole area is supposed to be where the motorcycle will end up going. I'll probably mount the ramp onto the wall, just to keep it out of the way. But yeah, it should be good. Still have a little walkway in between the motorcycle and the kitchen countertop. So, yeah. And then I have two 400 amp hour batteries over here that will be powering the whole gaming setup, as well as everything else that I need inside of the van. First things first, let's mount the monitor, because that's probably the most crucial part. Alright, so this is the wall mount that I ended up choosing. This is right off Amazon. I think it was like 30 bucks tops, probably. Should be very good for what we use it for. It would be cool if I could build a frame around this and the monitor, so that when it's actually on the wall I'm not bumping into it, but that probably won't be the thing until after the trip. I'm just trying to get going. And I know that if I'm the only person that's walking into the van, it'll be in mind all the time when I'm getting in. For other people, especially when I'm on the motocross trips, it might make more sense to make a frame around the monitor once I'm back. But yeah, let's get this thing mounted. And then make sure that their bracket for the back of the monitor actually fits, but I'm pretty sure it will. Just slide out. And then a smart person would put all the screws back in, because knowing myself, I'll lose them if I don't. Therefore, I'm smart now. Oh wait, actually, am I supposed to use these for this? Yep, that might be a thing actually. I lied. I don't quite understand how I'm supposed to tighten this nut down if I don't have access to the other side of this. But that's what the directions said, so directions can never be wrong. Alright, more directions. I separated the wrong thing. Operator error. Alright, so they have the screws on the bottom. Which doesn't really make sense to me, but I don't know, I am dumb, so theoretically this should slide right in there. And then I put the bolts back in. Alright, so if you guys can even see this is a 2x4 on the other side of the wall. And then I decided to put it right about here. And that will be where it sits. This is where it ends. I'll just do it because I only have one hand right now, and then show you after. Alright, so that's where that's sitting. Let's try putting the monitor on there now. Mitt. Swivel seat turned around. Monitor right here. It's Mitt. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And a nice tight fit with the door. Alright, well the computer's gonna go right there, so I need to make a little brace so it doesn't fall over that way when driving, and also one that goes across horizontal like that. So I'm gonna do that real quick, then we'll throw the computer in there. Alright, so that's the restraining little system that I came up with for the computer, the tower anyway. Just to make sure it doesn't slide forward, I put that piece of wood there. In case I hit a bump, there's a piece of wood there. And then there's also one in the back that's preventing it from sliding back that way too. Same with the subwoofer. Part of me is kind of worried about the subwoofer being so close to the computer and just rattling it to pieces, but at the same time, it's no different than when we're driving, so I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, but if it is, then the computer will tell me that because it won't work anymore. As far as right now, all we have to do is run all the cables through, probably behind the fridge, up the wall, through the ceiling where those cables are, and they come up around into our utility cabinet, and then I will have to drill a hole somewhere in here and route the cables into the monitor, and then we'll be good. So as far as right now for cabling, that's going to have to come back to the utility cabinet. I have DisplayPort, I have Ethernet, and I think that actually might be it for stuff coming back to the cabinet, because I do have an outlet right there that the computer's going to plug into rather than plugging into the inverter directly. Yeah, that's actually not as bad as I thought, so I'm just going to drill those two holes, run those cables through, and then we'll be good. Alright, so I have run my DisplayPort and Ethernet cable to the back of the computer. I drilled a hole through the wall here. Drill the hole through the wall here. It's plugged into the back of the monitor. And now you may be wondering, how am I going to get internet? You may be wondering how I'm going to get internet in here, but that's going to be a discussion for a little later in the video. But essentially, this Ethernet cable is going to stay here. This is an extra long one. I didn't know how long it was going to need to be, so I got 25 feet, which is obviously quite excessive. Now the hold up now is really just the batteries because they're not fully charged. Their nominal voltage for cycle discharge and recharge is like 14.4 to 14.8, and I'm kind of in this dilemma that's kind of getting me a little flustered and frustrated. But hopefully it works out in the end, because if not, then I'm not even gonna end up using these. Helicopter. Anyway, so I forgot to record how I got internet inside my van. I forgot to record that, but here we are months later. I'm gonna record it now. So basically, what we got was a 4G wireless cellular modem. So basically what that means that you take a cellular SIM card that you would normally put on your phone. You get a data plan with Verizon, AT&T, or whatever you can afford, or whatever works best for you, and you put that SIM card in said modem. This one actually takes two. There is options to do 5G and 4G, but for this trip I was like, most of the areas I'm going to be in aren't going to have 5G anyway, so what's the point in getting 5G? So I got 4G. Worked out in the end because it's also a little bit cheaper. But if I take this off the wall, I can show you how that kind of works. This one has the option of putting two SIM cards in there. And what that will do is whichever service is provided, like say you do AT&T and Verizon, whichever one has the strongest signal for the location that you're at, it will actually choose that data plan. I'm almost getting hit by the door. It will choose that data plan to go and take data from, because that's the fastest one at the time. So that's pretty cool. It gives you a lot of redundancy. But this one honestly worked out pretty good. Probably overspent on it, to be honest with you. I really did not need, well, I mean, it was for like a couple months, but probably could have went without it, to be honest with you. That's all right. We just did it anyway. Do I regret it? No. But yeah, this Codey one, just buyers beware. if you were going with the same one that I just had. They have an issue with Verizon for some reason. I'm sure there's a way around it, but when I went to Verizon, sat there for like 3 hours because their systems went down. This model wasn't allowed with Verizon, so I ended up going with T-Mobile, but T-Mobile had a prepaid plan, which ended up working pretty good. It gives you like 50 gigs of, 50 gigs of 4G, 5G, you know, whatever is on that plan, of high-speed data. And then after the 50 gigs is up, you usually get slower speed. But it's usually the same thing with your normal phone plans anyway, so after like a certain amount of time, if you have T-Mobile, they'll text you and be like, hey, you're capping out on your data plan, so we're going to slow that down a little bit. And then all your Instagram videos take a little bit longer to load. It's not like the end of the world, but it would be nice to have the high-speed internet 24/7, unlimited every month, but they don't offer that. So that's something to watch out for. But if you're playing just games on it and not streaming anything, like YouTube videos or movies and stuff like that, if you're just playing video games, you'll probably be just fine. Like, I did the math out. I forget what it was, but it was like, I would have to go like months of actual in-game time before I capped out with 50 gigabytes of data just playing RuneScape. And Minecraft was kind of the same way. I did the math for like Battlefield. If you look up like how much data each game will take, you can kind of plan it out for yourself, or just, you know, streaming in general. But streaming definitely takes up a lot. And if I streamed like 10 movies, it probably would have been donezo forever. That's how I had internet in the van. You can go wireless with it. I didn't. I just put a Ethernet cable in there, ran it over to my computer, and called it a day. I don't know if I recorded an outro, so if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I will talk to you guys all eventually. Actually, the next video will actually probably be the reveal for the entire van, so that would be cool too. Look forward to that. You did. They're getting pushed very hard at the moment. Oh, I'm dead. All right.